Okay, welcome back to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker on the PC. We are in Ilsabard, which is the name of the continent, on the island of Thavnair, near the city of Radz-at-Han. I think I got all that right. Now. We're slowly sort of inching our way towards figuring out what's going on with the Spire here, which is why we came here. But, you know, you gotta deal with all the local bullshit first. And that's what we're doing now with Nidhana the Alchemist. We've now sorted out that I'm immune to the Spire's sort of ether effect that tempers people, which I think we probably already knew going in. That's why I was sent here, but alright. A boy's errand. That sounds like a high-stakes quest if I've ever heard of one. If you'll excuse me, I shall return to my work on the talisman. Ah, you're both back. Excellent. I have a message for you, Mistress Nidhana. It would seem the stores of Giant Skull are running low. What? But when last I looked, there was still plenty. I suspect that was before Urianger told everyone about their tempering cure, and Estinian shared his knowledge of dragons. Your peers have since been inspired to fashion a number of new talisman prototypes. I see. Well, if it leads to new possibilities, then far be it from me to complain, but we will need to replenish our stores. I should be happy to tend to this if you like. As much as I appreciate the offer, my dear boy, I can't in good conscience send you out there alone while kidnappers are at large. Mangg, though I am to press another task on you so soon, might I ask you to fetch the Giant Skull? In case you're not familiar, Giant Skull is a type of ore found on the island. Owing to its hardness and ethereal conductivity, it has applications in many disciplines, alchemy not least of all. The quarry where it is found, aptly named Giant Skull Grounds, isn't far away, so it shouldn't take much of your time. May we impose on you once more? Thank you. Upon arriving at the grounds, please seek out a man named Zenua. He will furnish you with the ore. At the very least, permit me to accompany you. It so happens I have an errand of my own that will take me to the outpost nearby. May we borrow a pair of Hamsa, Mistress Nidhana? By all means. Do try to be patient with them. Those that survived are still in training. I will bring the Hamsa to the entrance. Meet me there when you are ready. Continuing to level the Sage a bit. It's up to 74 now. Yeah, I think basically what the Sage is just like an updated scholar. And since Scholar is my least favorite healer, it's not really... I mean, that's probably a big reason why I'm not overly impressed with it at this point. But, yeah, it's just... kind of just their design philosophy. They're sort of like... they're simultaneously not concerned with balance, but that's because they're overly concerned about balance. They want everything to be pretty equal, so that they don't have to care about balance. Right? So that's why all the healers are very similar. All the tanks are very similar. You know, a lot of the classes are just very similar. You know, every healer has, like, a dot and has their one primary attack and their one AoE attack. They all have their normal heal, they all have the big burst heal, they all have a big AoE heal, you know. And then they each get some little differences that make them each somewhat unique, but, you know, And then the same goes for all the tanks. And that's why Sage isn't that ridiculous or complicated or different. Because it just, that doesn't fit into their design philosophy to really make it different. And it's fine. I mean, again, for a single-player visual novel, it doesn't really matter. But for someone like me that craves, you know, different, complicated gameplay and uniqueness and all that, it's a little annoying. Yeah. So one wonders how that's really going to hold up, again, 10 years from now. If they continue with Final Fantasy XIV, say they put out 3 more expansions in that time, and say they put out 6 new jobs in that time, and the level cap has gone up to, say, I don't know, 110 or 115 or something, you know, something like that. It's all going to feel pretty homogenous. I don't know. Compared to, say, WoW, I guess, where every class feels pretty damn unique and different. Here are Hamsa Mangg. If the creatures look familiar, it is because they are close kin to your Eorzean dodos. Hamsa have long been kept as livestock in Thavnair, and many a hatchery may be found here. Alas, the largest of these was recently raised by monsters from the tower. On account of said hatchery being situated near the tower, the Radiant Host repurposed its remnants as an outpost. That is where my errand takes me, and your own destination is but a stone's throw away. If you have no objections, let us first make for the outpost. We set forth at your word. Yeah, I'm ready. Okay. Let us be off. If you haven't ridden dodos before, be warned that they have a wobbling gait. Look at that ass move. Oh my god. Good old Mangg. That spectacular formation stretches out... Oh, shit. Come on. Stretching out... Oh, it doesn't even show up here. What the fuck? Oh, there it is. Stretching out over the water is called Khadga, a word which means sword. This sword, legend holds, was wielded by the Minusia against the Murga before it was cast down at conflict's end. To the left, and requiring no introduction, is the tower. As you can see, it straddles a small isle. Almost there. Though the main part of the hatchery is atop the cliff, the outpost itself is on the beach. And here we are. Manned by the Radiant Host, this outpost is our first line of defense against the tower. Well, who should it be but young Varshnan, on an errand for the Sadrap? I am. His Excellency bade me come to collect your report. He also wished to express his heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women of the Radiant Host for their unflagging dedication. We simply do our duty, but we are honored to receive His Excellency's regard. And yet, For his boundless benevolence, his treatment of one so young could be regarded as callous. Though we have enjoyed relative peace and calm these past few days, this remains the front line of battle. No place for children. Your predecessor too often traveled alone. It's been, 2 years now since you took over? I wonder how the fellow is faring. Like those before him, he went on to represent the satrap in foreign lands. Wherever he may be now, I am certain he is well. As for myself, I assure you that all I do of my own volition, and gladly. I pray you do not think ill of His Excellency. Certainly not, lad. Whatever happens, my faith in the satrap is unwavering. But still, I worry for you. We would be overcome with sadness if something were to befall you, for you are as a little brother to us all. Take care, do you hear? I will, Nabdeen. Thank you. And who might this be? Not Hanish by the look of him. Permit me to introduce Mangg of the Eorzean contingent, come to assist in the making of the talisman. From Eorzea, you say? Towers have appeared over there too, yes? Tell me, what is the situation like? May I suggest that you exchange information with our soldiers? Both parties would stand to learn something of value, I believe. An excellent idea. Given the unprecedented nature of the threat, some of ours are understandably anxious. We would be glad for any tidings you could share. You two, bring Varsham the latest report, and answer any questions he may have. Get me into that tower, baby. I've heard about you, the visitor from Eorzea. Is there anything you can tell us about the Telophoroi? We know that they're the ones behind the tower, and that they've declared war on the whole world. But why are they doing this? What is it that they want? This we don't understand. What? They want to die, and take everyone with them? What madness is this? Well, you can bet that we won't let those bastards have their way. We'll fight them with everything we have, like our Eorzean and Far Eastern brothers. Yeah, it is madness. It is stock villain madness. It occurs to me I have yet to properly introduce our company. Oh, this is not Dean. We are the Radiant Host, a military order under the Satrap's command. Our duty is to preserve peace in the land, be it patrolling the streets or dealing with heretofore unknown threats, such as now. We train hard, and admit only capable warriors to our ranks. Even so, we've struggled to contend with the fiends from the tower. Though we succeeded in striking them down on the 2 occasions they came in force, we had to pay a heavy price. What of the towers in Eorzea? Do they likewise spawn monsters? So it's much the same everywhere. With every nation struggling, we cannot expect calls for outside aid to be answered. You wish to know about the tower? To be honest, we know little and less about it ourselves. This Tower of Zot, as folk have taken to calling it, suddenly appeared where it did on the Isle of Narunair. We're safe from its influence at this distance, but go too far into the water, and you'll expose yourself to its corrupting ether. You're a foreigner, aren't you? How are they dealing with the tower in your homeland? Our struggles are not unique, and our hopes still lie with the talisman. We must keep the monsters contained until they're ready. Finished speaking with the soldiers, have you? I hope it was as enlightening for you as it was for them. As a neutral nation and trading hub both, Radzadhan ordinarily receives a steady stream of news from abroad. Alas, this stream dried up when trading vessels stopped coming. Amidst the dearth of information, everyone will have been grateful for your account. But come, you had best see to your original errand. As mine will keep me here a while longer, however, I'm afraid I cannot guide you the rest of the way. Worry not. The path is straightforward. You need but follow the road east. Upon the Hamsa, you will arrive before you know it. Brief though it was, I enjoyed our time together. Until we meet again. Mount the Hamsa. Why do I need to specifically mount the dodo? Where am I going? Oh, there it is. So yeah, I don't know, you know, it's, by and large, Final Fantasy XIV is sort of a game at odds with itself. On the one hand, as I say, it feels like they just want to make, like, this sort of Final Fantasy visual novel story experience, where the gameplay is really just pushed off to the side completely, just so they can have the characters and the setting and, you know, all that good stuff, the story. And then there's the actual MMO stuff, which is separate from all the story aspects by and large. And, you know, and they have raiding and you know, trials and housing and hunts and all this other sort of MMO stuff. And that all stuff requires, you know, proper gameplay and ideally good balancing and blah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. So it's strange to really say it, but really I play this game for the story. Because when there wasn't story to do, I didn't play it. Aye, this is indeed the Giant Skull grounds, and I am Zanuha. Is there something you require? Giant Skull for the alchemists, you say? But of course they shall have it. They labor tirelessly to deal with the tower, and 'tis the least we can do to provide them with the materials they need. Here you are, a sack of the purest Giant Skull. We always set some aside for our alchemist friends. When you deliver it, let the good folk of the great work know that we're grateful for their efforts. If they need more, they need but ask. I could have spent some time instead of leveling Sage to look for ether currents. But you know that I can't get all of them right now anyways, because you have to progress in the story until you're done with the area. Ah, welcome back, Mangg. Dare I hope you have the Giant Skull? I sure do. Oh my, such fine specimens. Thank you so much for bringing these. We now have everything we need to make our next prototype, one that should be capable of passing our most rigorous tests. When it is ready, it will be time for the true test, so please take your ease while you can.
I see our taskmasters have allowed you a moment's respite as well. have to hand it to these alchemists. They are determined to see this endeavor of theirs succeed. I've never been one for blind optimism, but I sincerely get the sense they're close to a breakthrough.
They had better be, or all this effort was for naught.
The peoples of Eorzea, of the Far East, of Thavner, children of this star united in common cause against a dire threat. Yet ere they succumbed to suicidal madness, were not the Telophoroi born of her body as were we? They who cling to life and the promise of the morrow's dawn, against they who desire death and an ending of their own orchestration. The victors of this war alone will hold the right to answer the question of existence, of its meaning, and its worth.
Poetic and ominous to a fault. That said, if it's an existential debate in nature, then our arguments might not be as persuasive as you'd think. Fandaniel wants to die and take everyone with him in an orgy of pain and suffering. An utterly vile and unforgivable idea. And yet, when spat upon by fate and wailing in the deepest pit of despair, who among us can say they have not entertained similar thoughts? There are nights black as pitch, bereft of hope, and no words of comfort can reach you. And it's all you can do to grit your teeth and choke back the bile.
Yeah, usually you don't want to kill the entire fucking planet, though.
The more you see and suffer life's injustices, the more difficult they become to bear. Vengeance is nurtured in similar soil. Though your anger has a broader focus, the sentiment is much the same. A fervent desire to destroy others, to see them drown in torment, as you have.
That about sums it up. The will to endure is not always as strong as the urge to burn it all down and salt the earth. Survival be damned. It's a struggle, often close and brutal.
Indeed. Well, I, for one, shall pray survival proveth more appealing in the end.
As will I. Besides, our chances are much improved when we've the company of others committed to the cause of life. Our vengeful dragoon here is proof of that. What is it? What did you see? Fandaniel, are you sure? If he knows we've been working on a countermeasure.
It holds. The vessel holds! This is the one!
At long last! Look! We have finally created a talisman strong enough to withstand our experiments! We've named it a warding scale for the time being. With this in your possession, your soul should be completely shielded from corruptive ether.
Afforded such protection, any one of us may approach the towers without fear. Thou hast mine admiration. 'Tis an invention of historical significance.
I thank you for your kind words. But I would prefer you keep them unsaid until we test the talisman's efficacy in the field. It is for the next stage of our plan that we summoned you in the first place, to accompany me to the Tower of Zot. Should the scale prove effective, as I very much hope it will, then you'll have little to do. But should the effect be weaker than anticipated, I must ask that you restrain me, or knock me senseless.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Either way, we are fortunate to have you with us.
Nidana, are you certain you wish to do this?
If others are to trust our creations, then we must have faith in them first. And as the senior researcher, it falls to me to lead by example. But should I fail to return, then learn what you can from this attempt and apply it to the next. Our work must continue. Is that clear?
We'll keep an eye on the place while you're away. Assuming Fandaniel is lurking about, there's no telling what mischief he has in mind for us, or you. Be on your guard.
Shall we be on our way? I'll have one of the soldiers at the hatchery prepare us a boat, and we can set out from the northern shore. I'll see you there.
Alright, sounds good to me. Wonder if we're closing in on a dungeon. I imagine this tower is a dungeon. What does this guy got to say? Alchemist or dancer? No, ether current. Yeah. Yeah, as I said, just based on past ether currents, they generally don't let you fly in an area until you're done with it. So the last ether current's locked behind, like, the final quest in the area. So we'll save them all. Unless I see one. Odds of that are pretty slim, though, without a map to tell me exactly where they are. Hey, I think I found the quest giver. Oh, God. This is a rather finer boat than I had expected, but I won't complain. All that remains is to board and be on our way. Oh, and if I should become corrupted, do not stay your hand. Of course, I pray it does not come to that, but you must protect yourself. Other alchemists can fulfill my role, but you and your blessing are one of a kind, and perhaps our only hope for toppling this tower. For all our sakes, do not hesitate to do what must be done, whatever that may be. Well, the longer I draw this out, the more nervous I become. Let's be off. Yeah, Tower of Zot.
We should soon cross the threshold of the tower's influence. Any moment now. It's working! And you are still yourself? Then I'd like to see how it fares closer to the tower if we could.
Sure.
So far, so good. The scale's protection appears to be holding. If we can just make it to the tower's entrance. A few more steps.
She's tempting fate.
Praise be to the sisters, we made it! And the scale has proven itself to be everything we hoped it would be.
This is where she gets like smushed
Now
or
we can
something.
focus on production. Once we've equipped and returned with an entire survey team, this menace will soon give up its secrets. What?
Yep. Told you.
Ah!
And now we do a dungeon to rescue her?
Oh, let me go! Oh, let me go! Oh!
Oh, do calm down. You'll only hurt yourself thrashing about like that.
Stop! Oh, you can't do this! Please!
A little late for heroics, I'm afraid. The similarities are striking. My! Such hostility! Never before has my artistry so displeased. My patrons of old would have positively squealed in delight, though, between you and me, I find gushing praise exhausting.
What are you talking about?
Allow me to tell you a story. Surely you've yet to hear the one about Van Daniel, the sundered Ascian. I inherited the position and the soul of the Van Daniel who sat on the convocation in the time of the final days, theoretically speaking. Practically speaking, that fact is of no consequence. I was born and lived as, well, me. Eventually, I was recruited into the Ascians and imbued with the former Van Daniel's knowledge and memories, but I never felt that they were truly a part of who I am. How to explain? Perhaps if I told you who I was before my Ascian embrace, although that chapter too is a past I've long since discarded. I have it on good authority you've poked your nose into an Allegan ruin or two. Yes? Then I expect you've heard of me. The old
At your service.
Amma. Sounds pretty familiar.
A nation of unbridled prosperity. Every need met. Day after day of unbroken, unshakable peace. Existence fulfilled and ripe for decay.
You are a genius without peer, Amon. However do you conceive of such delightful experiments? That fool was beside himself with panic when he awoke with the head of a bull. Even his cries for help emerged as so much guttural lowing. Oh, the memory of it. My poor sides. My friends and I were so consumed by laughter we struggled to breathe.
No more than entertainment for bored wastrels ignorant of its worth. My all-consuming work. But it was not their only indulgence. For they were ever hungry for stimulation, slaves to the slightest hint that amusement was afoot. Our nation was ailing, but I would see the poison purged. I resurrected a legend, our first and greatest emperor. And just as I had planned, he set our wayward empire back on the path of conquest. An inexhaustible ambition carried us onwards, always onwards. Yet, he who delivered to us such glory was not to be satisfied.
Heed me, Amon. No matter how vast one's empire, or full one's treasure vault, all is rendered meaningless by death. In the end, all is lost.
You know as well as I that the Emperor stands to lose this war. And so I have come to claim you. For while your methods leave something to be desired, we cannot deny the results of your work. And as fortune would have it, the seat of Fandaniel, your rightful seat, lies vacant and waiting. Take your place amongst your peers, rather than die a pointless death amidst the ashes of your doomed nation. Send one of your clones to the Crystal Tower that you might see for yourself. See what lies ahead.
The fall of the Empire affirmed the truth, majestic and tragic, as the Emperor foresaw. Scheme as you like, build as you will, nothing endures. What is life but a brief jaunt ending in emptiness?
So the Amon that we fight in the Crystal Tower raid was a clone. And the real Amon went on to become an Ascian, taking the place of Fandaniel.
So easily distracted. Why, I almost left without saying farewell.
As for your friend, you needn't worry. These pawns are far more useful to me alive as fuel for the primals. If you attempt to pull them free, they will die. So, enjoy tackling that conundrum with your comrades. We shall meet again. Not in one of these minor spires, oh no, but somewhere more suitably grandiose. Your favorite playmate is ever so eager to see.
Xenos. Well, it's pretty shitty. Oh, you are returned, but where's Mistress Nidhana? About that. Manusia Preserve. Just when we had succeeded in making the talisman. I must report this at once. Meanwhile, please return to the great work. You mean by spending $100? Gladly. Something's gone awry, hasn't it? What happened? So, it was Fandaniel after all. Damn that bastard! I'm sure you wanted to do more, but you were right to return here first. We must tread warily, lest we endanger Nidhana and the other captives. First, we must inform everyone of the situation, Nidhana's colleagues included. I'll call them together for a gathering, but I think it would be best if you were the one to explain. Alright. Oh, Nidhana, can you answer me this? Though Nidhana is trapped in the tower, she's still alive, yes? Then we must make warding scales. As many as we can. The prototype works perfectly. This Nidhana proved at peril to herself. So let us make more scales, that she and all those who were taken might be saved. Aye, as alchemists, this is how we will help win the fight. My friends, the satrap has been made aware of the tragedy. He offers his heartfelt condolences and reiterates his pledge to provide you with all that you require. To that end, he bade me give you this link pearl, that he might personally discuss the production of the warding scales with you. And for our Eorzean visitors, I bear an invitation. In her report, Mistress Nidhana noted your vital contributions to the talisman's creation. This fact came to the satrap's attention, and in recognition of your deeds, he wishes to meet you. In addition to thanking you in person, he would also discuss further avenues of collaboration. And so, if it is agreeable, will you not accompany me to Radzatan for an audience with His Excellency? We should be honored, of course. Closer cooperation between our lands can only be to the benefit of all. Then it is settled. Please come to the gates east of the Giant's Call grounds, and I will show you into the city. Yeah, finally getting into Radzatan. I really wish it was daytime, though. Really wish it was daytime. See, this is where, for like the story video, I would actually just wait until daytime. Most of the time it doesn't matter like that much, day or night, for something like that, but going into this big city for the first time, that's a daytime moment. And yeah, there would be the slight blip in continuity if I ended that conversation at like dusk and then suddenly it was morning. But meh. Can't win them all. These wild ass jammels. Oh, I like this mount. I like that. All present. Then let us proceed. Owing to the threat of the tower, the city is currently in a state of high alert, and strict restrictions are in place for entry. Though you have been granted special permission, I ask that you remain close to me at all times.
A vast rock squats upon Thavnir, and to its stony surface clings the city of Rads-at-Han. Ye who enter here are subject to the scrutiny of gods, the gate's most watchful eye. The orb which beholdeth the truth of all things. Pass beneath its hot and piercing gaze, bearing down like a second midday sun.
Again, daylight would have just been
The fragrant
far better.
haze, a mixture of sweet incense and acrid smoke. The cries of merchants mingled here with lively melodies accented by dancers' feet. Travelers seduced by vivid sound and colors were once swallowed up by patchwork streets. But no such scenes to savor now. To what somber present does that divine eye bear witness?
Here we are, Megadota. It seems a shame to bring you here directly, Under normal circumstances, it would have been my pleasure to show you the sights.
And it would have been our pleasure to see them. Alas, it seems our tour of the city will have to wait.
I'm afraid so. Come, we should head inside. Your Excellency, may I present our honored visitors?
Ah, splendid. Most splendid. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Aharwan, satrap of Radzatan. Our alchemists tell me your assistance was invaluable in the creation of the warding scale. Such deeds ought to be recognized in person. Thus did I have young Varshan convey you here forthwith. On behalf of my people, may I express to you our sincere gratitude.
Not everything went to plan.
I assume you speak of Nidana. A regrettable incident indeed. Her colleagues insist that we honor her wishes and trust in the talisman, that it will be instrumental in saving Nidana and the others. I am eager to hear your opinion on the matter, so let us not stand on ceremony. Come, sit.
I think not.
Ho, ho, ho.
This charade has gone on long enough. Show yourself.
Forgive me, but were you expecting musicians, perhaps? There are no performers waiting in the wings at present, but arrangements could be made if you'd prefer.
Nay, he hath the right of it. The time for artifice is past. Raise the curtain.
As you wish.
Motherfucking dragon. Thought you'd hide a dragon from an Estinian?
You travel as assistants to the students of Valdesian, but you are known to me. Even here have we heard of the scions of the Seventh Dawn. I am Vritra, and for years uncounted hath this isle served as mine abode.
Vritra, of the first brood, sibling to Hraesvelga and Nidhogg.
Aye, mine elder brothers, of Midgard Sorma's spawn, I was last to hatch.
Well, isn't this a surprise? We were told Radzat Han had an alliance with the dragon. Not that a great worm sat in the satrap's own hall.
A necessary subterfuge, as the true tale of our nation history illustrates most effectively. In the beginning, the rock upon which our city is built was home to Vitra, and Vitra alone. In time, the ancestors of the Matanga came to the island and established a foothold. But never did they dare disturb the worm's lair. Next to arrive were the Aura. Adopting the example of their Akasodra allies, they too treated Vitra with reverence and respect. And for many years, an understanding between our forefathers and the Great Worm endured. Until marauding heroes from the mainland came, threatening to shatter our peace and tranquility. When it seemed all would be drowned in blood, Vitra himself came forth and quelled the rising conflict.
a peaceful accord was reached, and oaths sworn in Vitra's name. Thus began the dragon's governance of the fledgling state, which was to grow into Radz Adhan.
But if Vitra is still here, then your position as Satrap is just...
A charade, yes. And one which my family has performed faithfully for generations.
Many envy the great worms their power. Were it known that I ruled here, then the fires of war would burn without end. I would not be the flame which consumeth my people. Those few who join me in laying our country's foundations were, perforce, sworn to secrecy.
Your eye, it was taken.
'Tis here, buried within a semblance of flesh. The body before thee is but a simulacrum, constructed by the finest artisans of Razatan. With mine eye nestled within, it doth serve as an inconspicuous vessel for my will.
That would explain why I felt the presence of a dragon on our first meeting.
I am woven with words fashioned to deceive such arcane senses. Though 'twas short-lived, it seemeth thy fusion with my brother hath left thee much altered, Estinian warm-blood. From the very first, we sensed the nature of one another, yet did neither one of us bare his fangs. That is all I need know of thee for now.
With my secret thus revealed, I have for you a proposal. Not as a worm of the first brood, but as the ruler of Radz Adhan. With all haste must we take in hand the finished talismans and breach this foul spire. Thence, should it lay within our power, dispel its wicked influence. Yet even with the assurance of the warding scales, the narrow confines of the tower doth limit the size of our force.
And thus denied strength in numbers, thou must choose thy soldiers with care.
Just so. Yet though our radiant host is formidable, I see a surer path before me. Thou and thy comrades have contended with a multitude of primal beings. Most recently, thou didst cast down false gods in Padalthan and Cartanau, I am told. 'Tis upon that strength I would call. The Scions have proven themselves the most capable, and I ask that you serve as the tip of our spear. Talismans would, of course, be provided for each of thy companions. And should you agree to this undertaking, more will be provided to make use of as you see fit.
There's no denying it's a dangerous proposition, but the rewards may far outweigh the risk. Just think of what we might accomplish if we could equip all our allies with warding scales. I worry, however, that even the four of us may be too few for what you have in mind. Might we regroup with our friends first to discuss the matter?
'Tis no trifling task that I have laid before you. Go, steel your hearts and hone your plans. Such time as you require shall be spent in crafting your protective charms.
It seems a quick trip back to Sharlayan is in order.
Wilt thou not lend thine aid?
Whether your request be made as a great worm or the ruler of Radzat Han, I see no reason to refuse, nor will I.
I am in thy debt.
Alright. Sounds like we're going to be raiding the Tower of Zot. That meeting took a rather unexpected turn, but we now have a clear objective ahead of us. Let us rejoin our comrades in Sharlayan and muster a suitable crew for our foray into the Tower of Zot. Oh, and if you haven't already done so, be sure to attune to the Aetheryte here before departing. Unless, of course, you enjoy violent nausea. Not especially. Okay, so we can't actually get into the city. But what's the one over there? So now I imagine we're going to be doing the other path. The path of reading books in Sharlayan. And then once that's all done, then we get to do the Tower of Zot. I don't know. What am I doing? Alright, just go back. $1,600. Oh yeah, the twang. Just as I was getting used to balmy Thavner, we're back in chilly Sharlayan. Take care not to catch your death, eh? We need you for the battles to come. Now then, your investigation here remains, but when that's over, we can take stock of all the developments and discoveries. Sure can. Alrighty. I think that's a good stopping point. We can pick it up with Kryl and Sharlayan next time. And, yeah, we can drop earthly stars that fill up the whole room. It's glorious. That's gotta be the largest AoE in the game at this point. Kapah! Love it. Anyways. My name is Mangg. Getting Watch has been Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. See you fine folks in the next part.